Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is Monday night. It is time for Revolutionary Change. I'm Jen Perelman.
I'm Peter Hager, and we are just being flooded with all kinds of mysteriously questionable stories, aren't we, Jen?
Oh, we're being flooded with stories. And I would then direct people back to several weeks ago when I said, be on the lookout for all the impending false flags that will be coming our way. And we are in the midst of a whole bunch of these things now.
Shabbat Shalom and Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah. I just ate like 4 pieces of Hanukkah gelt, actually, that I found in my kitchen.
I like the name of big gelt and guilt at the same time.
Mm.
But, well, Jen, this could be the last show before we cross the Rubicon.
I know. Guys, we've crossed over 99,000 subs just today. I know. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm feeling all kinds of fuzzy inside. Don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to make sure you're subscribed. We know everybody gets thrown off every once in a while. Make sure to share the stream if you would be so kind. And also share if you would be even kinder to do so.
You know, every time we talk about what we're going to cover, I feel like sometimes I actually do miss the days when every day wasn't somehow associated with Zio hell. I feel like no matter any way we slice it, there's no way around that that's something we have to talk about every day, because it seems to be at the root of so many of the different problems are all connected to that one evil. So it just keeps rearing its little head. I feel like that's all we talk about now, because that's that's all there is.
Well, I've also been saying constantly that what really I think has aided well, not abetted, but what's aided the growth of our channel in so many ways is that right now we are at a very big inflection point in our nation's history, and very few people are truly stepping up to the plate and covering what needs to be covered. Now, part of the reason I believe that is the case is because for a lot of people, this is their only source of income. This is their livelihood, and they understand that on the one hand, they are at the mercy of the Google algorithm. They mess with it, then it can be yanked out from under them. And if you fly too close to the sun, well, you might just be removed completely. And I think it is imperative that we do what is necessary to cover these stories as objectively as can be covered. Now, one of the things about devastating situations that happen, and they happen all the time, they're obviously much more in our face because they are happening in an age of social media. And when that happens, you get to see everything that happens. There is nothing that's hidden. It's right there in front of you, and it happens in real time.
But it is also, can we also acknowledge it's connected to the fact that we live in a place where there have been more mass shootings than days in the year? There have been like somewhere like 390 or so mass shootings, like up to today. In this year. So, I mean, that in and of itself is extremely abnormal.
Colin, check your phone, please. I would say that there are
389. Thank you, Holly.
389 this year, mass shootings
so far as of today. And I think 389 might have been the Brown shooting, and I think there have been a couple more since then. But we're at the 390 range. So in other words, there are more mass shootings than there are days in a year in this country, right? Like that's
it's a double, but it's also a double-edged sword, because as I also like to point out, the only reason why we are not a completely George Orwell 1984 totalitarian nation under a police state, if you will, is because we are an armed nation. That's the only reason. So on the one hand, you have this issue, and then on the other hand, you recognize that there's also a lot of violence that is created to strike fear into people into wanting to be under the thumb of Big Brother, if you will. As Ben Franklin once said, if you're willing to trade liberty for security, you deserve neither. And so we're in that position right now.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to trade your liberty for security? And unfortunately, there are certain classes of people that are all too ready, willing, and able to trade their liberty for security. And you and I both agree that it is overwhelmingly a class issue. That's the biggest reason why you have certain people that run certain organizations from that perspective. What do we do? And having us constantly bickering over pointless bullshit is how we end up where we are.
Yeah. I mean, it's by design. It's by design. We're so distracted, which is the reason for the constant false flags, right? I mean, it's always about keeping us distracted. But now you have this extra incentive by the Zio state to create as many situations as possible to manufacture consent for what they're doing. So they're going to try to garner as much sympathy for Jews worldwide as they possibly can. And for people who I want to be very clear as a Jewish person, this is horrifying to me as any person, but as a Jewish person, it's exceptionally scary. But I want to say this to my fellow Jews, okay? And I mean this seriously. The call is coming from inside the house. Just like they have something called the Hannibal Directive, where they killed a whole bunch of their own people to avoid them being taken hostage. So you don't think those same people would calculate events hurting Jews to foster sympathy for Jews getting hurt? Think about it. So my point is, horrible things are happening to Jews, and the call is coming from inside the house. That's what
There's a reason why I was immediately suspicious of what had happened, as I think a lot of people probably were. Again, we do not advocate for murder. That's the difference between us and Zio scum and a lot of others. But in this case, when Netanyahu Milikowski decides to open his mouth, he very often gives away the entire game.
Yeah.
So thinking that because he's speaking in Hebrew, that he's not being recorded and that people are not going to discern what he's saying, well, here's what he had to say. Just like after Charlie.
Wait, but if it's in Hebrew with subtitles, we're going to have to say what it says for people.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
But this is very similar to what happened after Charlie Kirk's assassination. Who was the first person that decided to make a global statement about what happened? Well, in the case of Bondi Beach, Milikowski couldn't wait to get on the horn and voice his displeasure with what happened. Oh, and we have to attack Iran too. Don't
let's take this one part of this story at a time. Okay. Let's go one part of the story at a time. Ultimately they will, of course, take Iran.
בשפלותו, וראינו גם גבורה יהודית בשיאה. אני ראיתי בדרך הנה סרטון של יהודי שמתנפל על אחד המרצחים.
No, that's not true. So what this fake language person is spewing is that the person who got in the way of the gunfire to diffuse the situation at Bondi Beach, claiming that the person was Jewish, when in reality, I don't know anybody, Ahmed al-Ahmed is a Jewish person. Now, it turns out that they are Syrian and Muslim.
Right. But what does that mean? So just like he was so quick to come on and make a statement after Charlie Kirk saying, of course, we had nothing to do with this, as if that would be the first thing people would think, because, well, yeah. And note he's the first person to come out and just be claiming some sort of victory lap on behalf of Jews, as if that was supposed to be the story, but somehow it didn't go according to plan. That's what it reads like to me, that was maybe supposed to be the narrative, and somehow the Muslim guy actually took matters into his own hands. Who knows?
Well, I definitely agree. And I think that this is also part of the reason why there's a lot of people who believe that this is a setup, that this was intentional, because not only are they making this statement, but they immediately know who the perpetrator is. We don't need forensic evidence. We already know that one of the two shooters is deceased. We know that the second shooter is basically on his way out. And when dead men tell no tales,
always,
then you can pretty much create whatever narrative you want.
Exactly.
Who's going to stop you? Not many have so far.
No.
But that's where we come in.
שומט ממנו את הנשק ומציל מי יודע כמה.
Now, granted, very courageous move on his part. Incredibly courageous. And apparently Ahmed got shot twice over the course of defusing the situation.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like non-fatally shot. I mean, like, it doesn't seem like, I mean, he was sitting there seemingly conscious while they were like bandaging him up at the scene, but no, he was shot.
He wasn't shot in center mass, and he wasn't shot.
I think he's going to be okay. Like,
well, that's our understanding. Our understanding is that he will survive this attack.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a situation where you have to be constantly asking yourself, okay, why did he do this? I mean, sometimes you just react. You don't have time to think. In that moment, you're just thinking about, on the one hand, I want to stop this person from doing what they're doing, but it's also plausible that he might have thought, well, if I don't do this, he might hit me. So I got to try to do something.
From an observer standpoint, just from watching the footage that we've seen, I guess, from the window of that building, that same footage we've all seen, it very much does look like it was happenstance for sure. As far as, what was the gentleman's name? The Syrian?
Ahmed.
Okay. From his perspective, he really did look like he was running on adrenaline, because you could see after he grabbed the gun, he was almost like it took him a second to even think about what to do with that. Right. Like it was clearly not something that looked like that was on his bingo card for the day. So he is not somebody that I would think is involved in any way in this. But yeah, the way Netanyahu came out and proclaimed that some, Jew saved the day is a little interesting. Like, why would you say that unless that was supposed to be the narrative and somehow Ahmed interfered in what would have been that plan, whereas you would get a twofer. You would get the sympathy about a whole bunch of Jews shot up at a Hanukkah gathering, and you would get the bonus of the man solving, being a hero was Jewish too. So you would have gotten the twofer. In this case, he's only going to get the sympathy, vote on this. But
I'm going to show you all an example of why, when people complain and say, how do you know that this is a false flag? That doesn't mean that, this is the thing that people also tend to forget about false flags.
Right.
It doesn't mean that somebody wasn't killed. And in this case, several people were killed. I believe 11 total. That's how many were killed.
Yeah. False flags have nothing to do with whether or not people actually get dead. It has to do with who coordinated it, who stands to benefit, and who is going to benefit even, non-intentionally from that, right? And it's about things created as a distraction and who's behind the scenes pulling. They just don't care if they kill their own people. That's my point, saying it's coming from inside the house.
Yeah,
that's the Hannibal directive. Exactly. So yes, that was a horrible thing that happened to a whole bunch of Jewish people. I do not think it was actual anti-Semitism as much as I think it was Israel garnering that momentum and garnering that support and playing the victim because they're losing the narrative war. So, and there is real anti-Semitism. I believe that too. But this to me reads, this has Zio stink all over it.
And here's the reason why the lack of sympathy for those that were targeted. Again, don't wish any ill will, but when you want everyone to grovel at the feet of the Zio state, that is the intention. Now, one of the people that was killed, and this has been confirmed, his name is Eli Schallinger. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Now,
and this is one of the guys he's one of the people that died.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Eli Schallinger is the Chabad emissary.
Chabad.
Chabad?
Chabad.
Oh, excuse me. I don't have a dick stuck in my throat. I'm sorry.
Chabad.
Who's raising Australian funds for the IDF.
Yeah.
And a special thank you to all those from all around the world that have given funds and supported the Jewish people of Israel. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, I am here at the Marpeset Shel HaMedina, which means the porch of the country. It's an unbelievable place. It's a very, very high peak, and from here you can see half the country.
And you know why
Place.
you
Can
have to have
imagine?
armed guards? You know why they have to have armed guards?
Gee, I don't know why, Dan.
Well, because they're somewhere they ought not be.
Yeah,
That's
they're in
why.
West-
And
yeah,
ironically, the people that they seem to think they need to have armed guards from aren't even armed. See, that's the sick, twisted mindset of these Zios. They're so loaded with arms to go into a place of completely unarmed people. Are you that big? Like, if you're that big of a pussy that you need to be fully armed when the people you're walking around aren't, you get help.
or look in the mirror.
Oh,
But if I were Eli, if he were still here, I wouldn't like looking myself in the mirror very much.
If this was in the hands of the Arabs, this is right in the heart of the West Bank. This is why this needs to be in the hands of the Jewish people, because
Now, just remember, as you've pointed out time and again for many, many years, the reason they are called Arabs is to dehumanize them.
absolutely. Well, they're never going to acknowledge that there are people that are Palestinian. Okay. They will never, ever grant Palestinians the dignity of personhood. So if they said Palestinian, that would acknowledge that such people exist. They don't acknowledge that such people exist. By saying Arabs, it just means all the people in the surrounding areas. It's not people that are specifically indigenous to there, because that would be, that means that you obviously are committing an ethnic cleansing of people that were there. So if you don't acknowledge there were Palestinians, then you don't have to have that.
because of its security, and obviously the obvious, because it belongs to us, because it's our land. I'm standing over here with a beautiful, beautiful Chayal, a soldier, a man who has left his family to be able to protect
I tell you, whenever he gets off at night, this is who he's fantasizing about.
this village at this very, very heightened moment. What's your name?
And my name is Dolev.
Dolev. And Dolev, on behalf of the entire village over here, has received a very, very sizable donation from our community in Sydney, and he has a couple of words to say.
Okay, so first of all, hi from me. So, hi from Israel to the beautiful community of Sydney. As representative of the reserve group, that we station here, I want to thank you for your donation. We still need some other equipment like shoes, new vests.
Can I show your shoes?
Yeah, I'm still not wearing proper army shoes.
You understand? He's in the army and he's wearing regular sneakers. Shouldn't work like that.
So
we're being called.
Now, it's not right.
There you
It's
go.
not right. It's not right.
Okay, we're leaving.
It's not right to hold everybody up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're coming. We're coming.
Okay, we're walking.
Right.
So thank
It's
you so
okay
much
to
for
be
your
committing a
donation.
genocide as long as you don't make people late for dinner. You're holding everybody up. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Again, that's the thing
We
about
have to this is gross. So what kind of man finds some sort of satisfaction in arming himself against people that are unarmed? That's what is really this is about right here.
well, it's and that is, again, ladies and gentlemen, one of the people that was killed in the Bondi Beach shooting. This is a person who, by proxy, is responsible for the deaths of countless Palestinians.
Oh yeah.
That person's a mass murderer.
Yeah.
Why would anyone have any sympathy? And as Mel Carter points out, no guns allowed in Australia.
Yeah, I wanted to address that too. I saw that before. Australia has very strict gun laws. So that does beg the question then, right? Like, how did this happen? So this is one of those things that happens when it's facilitated by powerful groups and individuals, because it couldn't just be a couple of angry guys just decided to go out. That happens here. That's what happens here. That can't happen there. So, you have to wonder, what kind of connections must you have to be able to do this and get those kinds of firearms in Australia?
And here's where the story takes a very interesting turn. Now, for those of you who pay attention to some of the worst, and I mean the absolute worst genocidal, dehumanizing scumsuckers on social media. Arsen Ostrowski, you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who's worse than him. Now, it has been reported that he survived this shooting at Bondi Beach. But it turns out that he may not be as innocent as he's making himself out to be.
Okay, here's another one. Yeah, this guy. He survived October 7th. And by the way, I have come to find out, has been one of the main people perpetrating the bullshit rumors about October 7th continuously.
Oh,
and he just happens to be there with his phone filming his bloody self.
Mm-hmm. Oh, help me. But here it comes. There is literally a photo of him behind the scenes getting more makeup applied to him.
Oh, wow. Wow. Are we sure that's a real picture and that someone didn't like AI that? Because that's like fake blood right there.
Yeah. Well, it looks fake. I mean, let's go to the beginning. Like if you look, you'll see that.
But how did someone get a picture? Like, how were they so careless to have
because there's always, you know what it's like, you know how you said from the beginning of the stream that the call is always coming from inside the house? Yeah. There are people that tried to take out Hitler when they saw that the Third Reich was collapsing. It's the same thing here. There are people within the Mossad, there are people within the Israeli government who are looking around and saying, they're going to kill us all. Like, eventually, we're all going to get what's coming to us if we don't do something to end this. One of the ways we can is one of us takes on the responsibility of exposing the whole grift, exposing it all. Like, Arsen Ostrovsky should be in The Hague right now.
Where is he from?
Probably Poland.
No, but I'm just curious if is he an Australian citizen now? I mean, I don't know where he was there on vacation from. Like
he's Israel. But
so he lives in Israel.
Correct. And so now I guess he just happened to have been in Bondi Beach at this.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. And I'm going to confirm this real quick. So unless anybody in the chat wants to prove me wrong,
someone in the chat says it's a Russian name. Yeah, I just meant where is his citizen? I just meant like what does he consider his nation state right now, not his ancestral heritage. Nobody from Israel that are these people are from there anyway.
Well, it doesn't actually say, that's the thing. I mean, right now, he says it's Israel. He is a human rights lawyer, Jen. That's what his profession is. So, yeah, he's actually very, I can't see if this is real or not. All I know is that if you go to his Instagram, he just talks about his love for food, coffee, and Israel.
He's a dual citizen. Right. Well, that's what I figured. He's a dual citizen. I'm trying to figure out what's the other country he's a dual citizen with. Is it Australia?
I mean, that picture alone, it doesn't look real.
No, it doesn't. He looks ridiculous.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
All right, so we saw that.
We're quite confident that no AI was used when producing this image.
Okay. That's about as good as we get now. Oh my God.
Frame that picture, guys.
Seriously.
And don't ever forget it.
This is the problem with having any sympathy or for me to ever see Jews as victims at all. It's because they've just cried wolf so many times. I can't believe this.
Like from Reno 911. They murdered me. Nobody murdered you. We'll finish it out.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
This picture is going to have to be addressed by bigger stations than us. Like, this is going to make the rounds, that this is like, this cannot be taken seriously. This
Well,
man cannot
know,
be taken seriously.
Well, this is also the problem, is that this is the type of stuff that could easily get us flagged.
Here we go.
Of course he is.
That makes even more sense.
That does make even more sense. Slava Ukraini!
I hope that you understand there's a reason why.
Yes, this image appears staged and fake. The blood has an unnaturally bright, glossy red hue that's more consistent with corn syrup-based fake blood or paint used in movies and special effects makeup than real blood, which tends to darken and coagulate. That's a thesaurus word. Quickly upon exposure. There you go.
Wow. Yeah. So there you have it. So yeah, false flags does not mean that real people don't get killed. Real people get killed. That's collateral damage in whatever it is that they're trying to do, whether it's distract you from one thing or cause sympathy for a group, like, which in this case, it's both. But yeah, not at all surprised.
When we say that you should always question, this is why we mean you should always question it. And so to the innocent bystanders, because I'm sure there were several that were killed at Bondi Beach, without question, we send our best to the families.
They were just regular people.
Correct.
Absolutely.
But to those that were clearly in on this thing, like Arsen Ostrovsky.
But he didn't get killed. Notice how that happens, right? So the people that were in on it are not the people that got killed, most likely. The people that got killed were just how their collateral damage, like Hannibal Directive people were treated, Israelis were treated on October 7th. They were killed because it was for the greater good, for the Israel Project.
Thank you, Colin.
Yes,
Yep.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's silly. And it's very unfortunate for people that are actual victims. Like, there's people that died in this, 11 people, right? Is that what it is?
No, 15.
15. And that's horrible. And those are innocent people. But make no mistake that they're going to use this to try to get you to punch in the completely wrong direction, the calls from inside the house. So those people did get killed, but I would suggest who killed them is Zio State.
Their day of reckoning is coming,
Mm.
and it's coming a lot sooner than they think. And so I bring this up because one thing that cannot be denied is that back home, we may not see these stories happen too often, but they are happening. And so I'm guessing you're probably not familiar with Senator Scott Wiener. He is
I am not.
He's a member of the California Senate, and he represents he's San Francisco, San Mateo County primarily. But apparently it's making the rounds that he is a huge Zionist in a very big way. So he decided to show up at, I believe, San Francisco State University, and it didn't go very well. And this is going to...
When was this? I
think this is over the weekend.
Okay.
Final exams were just happening. So this is the end of the semester.
I'll never be welcome on SF State's campus. We divested from genocide. Hi, Senator Wiener. I'm a student at San Francisco State University, and I was just wondering why you've supported bills like SB 1287 and 715 that would support criminalizing pro-Palestinian speech, and coming to a campus that's actually divested from Israel's genocide of Palestinians. Do you have anything to say to that?
That's not what the bill does.
Yeah, it does.
So he probably doesn't know what the bill says. So this is I don't understand why he called him senator. This is a state senator in California?
State senator,
Oh,
correct.
okay.
Now, you can tell by the body language that, first of all, he's very uncomfortable, obviously. He drives a Wienermobile. Well, this is stop.
I was trying to move it.
This is more important. Scott Wiener is also the real estate builder, is in the real estate builder's pockets. He wants to build a San Francisco at the detriment of us all. Joseph Buds, thank you for being here tonight. Joseph Bud San Francisco, thank you for being here tonight and sharing on this. I can only imagine what a shit lib this guy probably is, but it gets even more interesting, Jen.
They criminalize this pro-Palestinian speech by saying that certain slogans and things are genocidal language, and we know that that's not true.
Look at that.
No, it is true. And why do you think it was okay to go to Israel in January of 2024?
Ooh.
I don't think that was okay at all.
I don't think it's okay. I still don't understand why state legislators or municipal people like mayors have anything to do with going to Ziohel. Why are they going there other than to lick someone's balls? Like really, what is the purpose of that?
Unless San Francisco proper has invested a shitload of money into Israel war bonds. There is that to think about.
Well, yeah, California is definitely a state that does, but I think it's funny that I don't know if this person talking is a student. It sounds like he's a student. Apparently, and is it Wiener or Weiner? Because I've heard both. But anyhow,
he is a wiener and he's a whiner.
Weiner, but he does not seem to have been aware that this college has divested from Israel's bonds. But again, the city of San Francisco or their county or what is a whole other thing.
Correct.
And meet the president of Israel. Yeah.
You don't have our permission to do that.
This is my campus. This is not his campus.
That's illegal.
It's not illegal.
Yes, it is.
I love that.
Why did you think it was okay to go to Israel in January of 2024? Months in.
Oh my God.
All right. All right. Let me handle this.
It's illegal.
First of all, forget that it's not illegal. I'm looking at him now, and I'm looking at it. Is it any wonder, guys, that the biggest supporters of hurting other people that do not involve them actually doing the dirty work are the biggest emasculated cuck bitch pussies in the world that have women stand in front of them?
It's embarrassing.
Them.
He should be embarrassed. But even funnier to me is whenever you're at like an event like this in certain places that are like speaker events, people are always going to act like they somehow are law authority and have authority. This woman is trying to tell him that him asking the question, that's illegal.
It's illegal.
It's illegal. This woman has less authority than a parking attendant in a parking lot. Seriously, she has less authority than that. And yet she's sitting there and telling him, questioning somebody on his campus, public campus, that that's illegal.
And just remember,
and you're right. And that cook's just sitting there eating. Can't even talk for himself.
And remember, and this is the very important part that I don't want people to forget here. It is a very high likelihood that this woman who is doing this is one of two possibilities. She's either a legislative aide or she's his chief of staff. And this person is making this is a California state senator.
Yeah.
Making California state senator in San Francisco, no less, that is making a statement to the effect that you are not allowed to film us in a public place. It's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a complete dumbass who doesn't know anything about the law. But then again, we are governed by people who don't know anything about the law to begin with. Or she's deliberately lying, knowing what the law actually states.
She doesn't know. She just has nothing else to say. Oh, it's illegal. You can't bother him. She's just out of ideas.
It's okay. I can take care of myself. Could you please stand in front of me? I don't want to be chased down by a 20-year-old student. He might yell at me.
Oh my God.
To the genocide.
Wait, hello?
You can't whitewash genocide or pinkwash it.
Yeah, he's
Let me think about
She's
this. What is
calling
he-
someone.
What
She's
is he
calling for
doing
help.
exactly that I have to that I need security to come help us with?
And this guy's just sitting there eating. He's just eating. Let me tell you, if anybody really like had any concept as to what a public servant should look like, it's the opposite of this guy. This guy was just approached by a constituent, a student at a college that he's at right this moment. and he is letting whoever this woman is fight his battle for him while he sits there and eats.
Yeah,
That could be the cuck. Maybe we need to have like the cuckiest cuck award or something for this guy.
well, for next Monday on airing of grievances will be a good
Oh,
one.
I've got.
This is SF State. You'll never get away with this
Sorry,
here.
without our permission. Yeah, you can't record it. It's a private event.
This is a private event?
Yes.
This is a public campus.
It's-
It's a public campus. Do you have anything to say for your legacy?
You asked me a question about 715. I answered. I don't agree with your interpretation.
Do you think you can actually win this race if you stand with Israel?
We're going to campaign to win the race.
Yeah, you're not going to win the race. Not in this city. This city is against genocide. And you've been whitewashing it the entire time. That is true. You've been both sides in the issue.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, and you can deflect however you want to as well. But just know there will be no event, no public space you can go to without asking these questions, because this is the moral test of our time, and you're standing on the wrong side of history.
I love that, man. I love that, man. Exactly. There should be no place where these people can go and in public and not be questioned like that. Not even assaulted, but verbally addressed, let's say.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's
That's
if you
like-
want to, ladies and gentlemen, Jen and I are not into party politics, but you need to only listen to a man, and I use that term very loosely. You only need to listen to a man like that speak for all of about 20 seconds to know that if he is an elected official, he has to be a Democrat.
Oh, absolutely. Well, also he's in San Francisco, so I think that kind of goes without saying. Like that's like Broward County. But I'm wondering what it is he is running for right now. If he's just running to maintain his current seat, or if he is actually running for something else, because apparently he's running for something.
I don't know if I don't think he's running for governor. I could be wrong, but I can confirm that. I'll just take a quick glance.
There's somebody in our chat that had thanked
Oh,
us for
no,
talking about
actually,
this.
he's running for Pelosi's seat. So he's running for Congress. He's running.
Oh, he'd be perfect there, actually. Actually, based on that little interaction, he would blend very nicely.
Let me tell you, it wouldn't shock me in the least if he is the next congressman, because he's on a dog leash already.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he's going to walk him around
Yeah.
and do exactly what he's told. So that's
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
That's
he's actually perfect for that area. He looks like he'll just be like, totally Silicon Valley's bitch.
Well, I feel bad for Joss and a whole bunch of others that are here tonight that might be from the Bay Area.
It does. It
No,
sucks.
We don't need representation like that, but we have become one nation under blackmail and one nation bought and paid for by corporate power. And it is obvious that Scott Wiener, the whiner, will do whatever he has to do in order to maintain that power. But remember, it is here at home. We have to deal with it here in the States. It's an obvious problem. And therein lies why, as much as we are ready to overtake this Zio state, we still have to recognize that there is a much greater problem here. There is a complete takeover of our economic and political system, hence the name revolutionary change.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're not voting our way out of this. And sure as shit, not with people like that.
No, we definitely are not.
I mean, maybe you could sell me that Shama Sawant might be able to like make her mark there. But that guy, no, he's not helping anybody.
I bring this up because, as you guys know, we recently had James Lee on the podcast. And there are many running theories as to why he was ultimately fired from Breaking Points. But I still maintain that the most obvious reason is because of the power that the Zio state still has over various elements, not just of corporate media, but of so-called independent media that is masquerading as corporate or is masquerading as independent media, but is really corporate media. And as a result, we mentioned the name of Liora Rez. Now, Liora Rez is the person who is in charge of Stop Anti-Semitism. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever heard this woman speak before, but we're going to hear her speak now. And if you think what you heard about her is bad, now you're going to really hear just how much of a psychopath she really is.
I speak not just about a problem, but an actual fight. A fight that the Jewish community did not choose, but one that we are now fully engaged in, confronting the global explosion of Jew hatred unleashed since the attacks of 10/7.
Yeah.
Stop Anti-Semitism was built for this. For years, we exposed hate, pressured institutions, and delivered consequences. But after 10/7, the scale of threat and the urgency of our mission changed dramatically overnight.
Oh.
Since that day, we have featured more than 1,000 anti-Semites on
Is it me or does she like a merger of like Crystal Ball and Maria Shriver?
Ooh, that hurts. Is that a
Well, I'm
wig on
just
your head?
saying. I mean, that's just what she looks like to me. But you know,
Well, she looks like a scarier version of Morticia Adams, actually, if that's even possible. 1,000 anti-Semites. Jen, could you once again please clarify for the not so informed that when she says anti-Semites, she knows not of what she speaks?
she means anti-dentite.
You're a raging anti-dentite.
Dentite. No, I mean, look, the ADL, we've covered it before, but like organizations and groups like this, like the ADL, they do not exist to combat anti-Semitism. What we think of as anti-Semitism, meaning Jew hatred. They don't exist for that reason. They exist to protect Israel. That's why they exist. That's what they've been doing. They've been worming their way into college campuses with this exact same bullshit for generations. It has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. The majority of cases that they claim were reported cases of anti-Semitism. And by the way, this is prior to October 7th, 23. Most of those complaints were about people that were criticizing the geopolitical state of Ziohel. So they've always been for that purpose. And she's no different.
Well, not only that, but the thing that we've always had to point out that I think a lot of times gets lost on people is that there were 700 Palestinians that we're aware of that were killed in the year 2023 by Israel prior to October 7th.
Yeah. Yeah.
on our platforms. 1,000. Not theorized about them, not quietly documented them, feature them publicly, clearly, and with evidence. The results speak for themselves. Approximately 400 of these Jew haters have faced real consequences, including firings, suspensions, and expulsions. More than 300 of them remain in an active investigatory state across universities, corporations, DEI departments, unions, hospitals, nonprofits, and yes, unfortunately, federal government agencies. And yes, 5 arrests to date tied directly to threats and violence of anti-Semitic conduct we helped expose. This is what accountability looks like.
No.
This is what
a McCarthy witch hunt looks like. It is so unbelievably freaky that she's standing there and she doesn't even like this could be them talking about the communists back during the McCarthy era. That's how absurd this sounds. And I want to be very clear that I don't understand how and why it's a crime or should be punishable to be anti-Semitic or anti-Jew. Again, if I want to hate Jews, I can hate Jews. Like, I don't understand the concept of mind policing in any capacity. Like, this is absurd, what she's talking about. She hasn't mentioned any sort of violent action. These are not hate crimes. These are hate thoughts. If that, again, assuming that they really did hate Jews and that was really what they were thinking. So they're being punished for their thoughts. This is horrifying.
And this is one of the most powerful people in Washington. Don't kid yourself.
action looks like. This is what pushing back hard looks like against the tidal wave of hate that has consumed the United States and global population. From our founding, Stop Anti-Semitism has operated on one guiding belief. Anti-Semitism thrives when there are no consequences.
Anti-Semitism thrives when you make it look like Jews are committing a Holocaust. That's what does it. It's amazing how that happens.
I think it's also fair to say that when I do see that flag,
Mm.
it's the equivalent of looking at the Nazi flag. Like, it is the Third Reich. That is a hate symbol. That is a violence symbol. And I don't know how their position that they think that they can eliminate everybody that disagrees with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not in the millions, lady. It's in the billions with a B that want to do away with you and your people. And we're not talking about Jews.
No, I know. Yeah, right. Yeah.
You use Judaism as a shield.
Correct.
For your genocide. And you know what? You're running out of places to go. You really are.
This woman, it looks like the complete definition of what I would think of people think as a white feminist. Like, she actually thinks she's serving the greater good. This privileged white woman just basically standing there on some friggin' high horse. It's grotesque.
Well, not only that, but this is why I've always been concerned in the political arena about white liberal privileged women. When they hone in on a cause, it's because they're just bored and they don't have anything better to do. So in her mind, ruining thousands of lives because they dare to exercise their constitutional rights, she's elated in watching other people suffer. Partially because of the victim mentality that is instilled upon the Zios in general, but also because this is, once again, a class war. And they do see themselves as ethnically, culturally, religiously, and socially superior to everyone else. Know the difference between a racist and a bigot. This woman is a racist, pure and simple.
So we created consequences, a lot of them. We created visibility. We turned the spotlight towards those who targeted on our community, making silence impossible. On campuses where Jewish students were hunted through libraries, where professors glorified Hamas and Hezbollah terrorists, where mobs shut down our buildings.
Nobody ever stops these people and say, what students? What professors? What students were running for their safety? Where did this happen?
You know, I remember early on after October 7th, around this particular time, 2 years ago, on Columbia University's campus, when the students were protesting with the Palestinian flags, and one of the people that was protesting in favor of Israel claimed that somebody walked into them with the flag, and oh my God, they hit me in the face.
This is how ridiculous they are.
And it turns out that girl who said that was working for the Mossad. So it's all there, guys. It's all there. They had a great grift going for a long time.
Yeah.
And
they're
guess
their
what?
own worst enemy. Because why? Because pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered, even if you're kosher.
Hey, Liora Rez, how are you going to explain away Arsen Ostrovsky's getting caught red-handed committing a false flag in Bondi Beach? How you gonna talk that one away? How you gonna
look, they seem to have talked away the Hannibal Directive information that came out that was very clear, even from their own sources. I don't know.
And administrators hid under desks. We stepped in. We documented the offenders. We worked with attorneys, lawmakers, and victim families. And we ensured the message was not mistakable. If you target Jewish students, your actions will not disappear into the darkness. We will shine a light on you that, thanks to Google and SEO, will follow you for the rest of your life. When you
Did you hear what you just said?
Yes.
Google and SEO will follow you for the rest of your life. So she's not only admitting what her job is, but she also is admitting that she is intelligence. She's admitting that she works for intelligence.
Well, or that we know that the big tech companies are completely intertwined with CIA, with Mossad, with it's all one group. of people that are seeking to control what we're thinking here. Right. So the people like Larry Ellison who feel the need to be buying media like he's playing whack-a-mole, trying to control all the leaks. He's in bed with this one, not literally, but figuratively, like they're together in trying to shape this narrative. So yeah, she is working with those companies.
You look for a job, when you look for a spouse, when you look for a nanny, when you look for anything, our work will always be documented. Again, thanks to Google and SEO. In corporations where DEI leaders smeared Israel, excused Hamas, we pressured CEOs. Some resigned, many were terminated, but policies were changed, thankfully, from governmental to art institutions. Online, where anonymous accounts spread violent threats, we traced patterns, elevated evidence, and worked with authorities, leading to arrests from Florida, South Carolina, New York, California, and Texas. And we're not slowing down, sadly. Today, Stop Anti-Semitism, I'm proud to say, runs one of the most robust anti-Semitic enforcement operations in the United States.
Can we think about that for a second, how insane this is? Insane. That they believe they can police anti-Semitism, not actions. She's not talking about criminal acts. She's not talking about hate crimes. She's talking about thought. She's talking about that they actually have a force out there to combat anti-Semitism.
This lady is, well, she's sociopathic. I mean,
I just think that it's horrifying. And again, I don't want to hang out with anti-Semites. I don't want to hang out with anti-anythingites. I don't want to hang out with Haiti, vile people. That's my choice. But they're allowed to think that. They're allowed to be Haiti, vile people. And it freaks me out. This is how I end up coalescing, if you will, with the likes of people like Nick Fuentes or whoever, because as much as these people are vile and gross, I'll still defend their right to say and think what they think. This woman is like some sort of like AI Stepford wife. This is some crazy shit. She's worse than Greenblatt. He's just evil. She's I don't know.
I don't think Greenblatt has it in him. You know what? You know what it's like, honestly, Jen? Greenblatt reminds me of somebody like Himmler, who is an evil bastard who wants everyone else to do the dirty work.
Well,
yeah. Like Liora Rez, she's like Eichmann. She is willing to pull the levers in the gas chambers. Like she's willing to kill people. Like she gives off that psychotic vibe of, oh, I will remove you if I have to.
Oh, and she kind of reminds me of Laura Loomer, too. Once you said psychotic, that just sort of came to mind.
Yes. Laura Loomer is psychotic, but in a very unhinged way. This woman is psychotic and she is completely aware of her surroundings, which makes her even more dangerous because she could get shit done.
Well, we could also talk about the ridiculousness that a fake nation has an embassy, but anywho.
Correct.
Monitoring campuses, digital networks, activist groups, and public officials, documenting incidents in real time and mobilizing millions of people, of allies that are quietly by our side. But the fight is bigger than the exposure, and it's about securing a future where Jewish students can walk across a quad without being screamed at, a future where employers understand.
Again, I would urge people to always question when somebody's giving a speech and they say something in that regard, this general statement that students being yelled at, students being harassed. Always question that when there has not been one reported firsthand credible incident of that happening. Not one. So they keep saying it, like they keep saying the rape story or whatever, but yet there's no evidence to support it and nobody questions these people because they're sitting there and talking in their own little echo chamber. They'd probably think that if she farted, it would smell good in that room. So like they're all just, they love each other, but this would not stand against any let's say, halfway decent reporter would be like, what instances are you talking about? And she would have none to speak of.
No,
It's infuriating. It really is infuriating.
Understand that anti-Semitism is not activism. It's bigotry, and it will cause you to lose your job.
Why?
Rules for thee, not for me. That's
Meanwhile, behold, one of the world's greatest basic actors on behalf of the white patriarchy, women like that. White women like that woman are one of the biggest problems that we have in this country as far as making progress. It's the truth. It's women like that.
Well, it's also an example of somebody who, as soon as she, those are the types of people that always pick up the ladder to make sure that no one else can get up there. It's all for her by herself. This is why we cover these stories. We cover them because, first of all, I don't know how many people had even heard Liora Rez speak before. I'm going to be honest. I never heard her speak before I got this clip. And when you want to talk about the banality of evil, you're looking at it. Liora Rez is the banality of evil. Stop anti-Semitism? No, it's as anti-free speech as anything you will ever see. And she is paid millions upon millions of dollars to run that organization, and they run it out of Washington, D.C., which is why she is revered there. Again, the people do not revere any of this shit, except for the Zio scum. They're in their own little bubble, if you will. But the power vacuum within D.C., within San Francisco, within Miami, within New York City, within Chicago, and a few places in between, they love her. Why do you think she gets the money? Why do you think they do these events?
I've never heard of her until this, so I have no idea. But I will tell you the vibe that I get from her, and it's a very particular feeling. So I get the vibe from her of like a white woman in the South that calls out a black man for stepping on her toe and ends up having him hanged, and she's just okay with that. That's the kind of vibe I get from her. Like this very particular white supremacist. Yeah, she's disgusting. And no, I didn't know of her, but now I've seen everything I need to know.
Yes, and in conclusion, in case you guys are wondering, if there is a person who probably went max to make sure that James Lee lost his job, that's the person. That's who did it. So now you know. If you're enjoying this conversation so far, which we hope you are, please consider going over to patreon.com/revolutionary change for as little as $5 a month. You can become a supporter of our small but mighty and growing channel. We are approaching, yes, we are.
That's crazy.
That six-figure number.
Well, what are we at right now?
99,076 subscriber, guys. So depending on how things go over the next few days, you're definitely going to want to tune in on Thursday. In fact, Thursday, we will be graced with the presence of our libertarian friends, Josie, the redheaded libertarian, and Clint Russell. So
I think I'm going to be a side piece in most of that conversation, guys. I'll have to, yeah.
Well, you're the one saying that we shouldn't pay federal taxes anymore.
Oh, no, nobody should pay taxes in 26. Nobody should pay taxes in April. Absolutely not. This is ridiculous.
Well,
I am just, this cannot stand. And that is the one thing that collectively every single person could do. That's why it's one of those things that every single person can do. And nobody should be paying taxes. Why the hell are we giving them money that they don't even need? They're not using it. Taxes don't fund spending. So what the hell? They're taking our money. They're making money. It's a grift. This is absurd. We need to stop paying. It's like getting shaken down at the schoolyard by the bully for your lunch money. These people have been stealing our lunch money, and it's enough. Enough.
Ryan John Hotchkiss, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Really appreciate you being here, my friend. Jessica Marie G, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Really appreciate you being here. Not a bot 2244 with the $20. Hey guys, the algorithm just sent you to me. I am really into your content, and say what you will, algorithms know what I want. You guys are over the target. So just keep dropping the truth bombs. Never surrender our freedom.
No. No, we'll be here until, they decide that they're done with us.
Oh, yes. Well, that's the thing. It's like,
Yeah.
thankfully, this is not what we do to rely on a living. So as a result, we actually will continue to go over the target until they pull the rug out from under us.
Is that him? Is that a real person?
Yeah.
Get him all buff and cute in the gym. Get him all cutie poo.
Gezin82 with the $5. State of Israel overcorrected after WW2. Starting with a Nakba, they decided to become the monster and think it's justified. Yeah, pretty much. Marvin Vargas with the $2. Believe event with Shabbat sponsor.
Chabad.
You have to say it. I can't hawk that much shit out of my throat.
And yes, I did see someone in the comments talking about Yiddish, that it is not a Semitic language. It is not. It's German based.
That's right. That's what I thought. I'm German, by the way. Part German.
You claim whatever works for you that day. You're
That's
German when you're German. You're Irish when you're Irish. What am I? Okay, then you know
You're
what?
a mess.
I'm a mess, but I do now know that I have part Tamil Indian and part Han Chinese in me. So now I can claim that I have like anything.
Hey, listen, if Elizabeth Warren can claim to be Native American, you can claim to be part Chinese.
I am more, let me tell you something. I'm 4 generations removed from Tamil Indian. So I am more Indian than she is Native.
I would agree. Gezin82 with the $5 again. Arabs is lie to say Palestinians aren't indigenous, yet Arab just ruled and changed language, didn't replace Palestinians. They cannot say Palestinian because it goes against their entire made.
Correct.
Marvin Vargas with the $2 again. Hebrew mosque killed 29,130 injured. February 94. Barack Goldman. I am not familiar with that. Jen, I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No, I'm not familiar with that, but it sounds about right.
Sounds about white, or is the other way that we can say it. Pat Man,
Hi,
60.
Pat.
Always great to see you.
Can we call you Patty? Tell me if we could call you Patty. I've always wanted to have an Irish friend to call Patty.
No, you can't call him Irish. He's actually Scottish. You got to kill him where he's really from. Patman is a Scotsman. He's got €7 to throw
Well,
out.
can I call a Scotsman Patty?
I suppose so.
Somebody in the chat thought I was Palestinian, and the fact that somebody would think that is like of one of the highest honors.
My mistake. My mistake.
No.
He gave us £7. He didn't give us €7. So
No,
£7.
that's definitely pounds.
Dark times ahead, guys. But we need to keep up with the good fight, whatever it takes. I agree. We do need to keep up with whatever it takes. And Maxim Gray with the $5. Super chats won't let me say anything about is not real. No joke. Blocking me. Of course.
I've had that problem many times in chats.
So what happened? What did you write in the chat that they decided to remove or wouldn't let you post?
Are you talking about me in particular? Well, no, it's happened not tonight. I'm just saying I've had that in chats where certain words won't go through. And it sometimes isn't words that didn't go through before, like it changes. But yeah, there's certain words. And yeah, I am sorry, Patty. I know you're a Scotsman. Do you wear kilt? What's your clan? These are things I want to know now.
Clan?
Yes, clan. He has a clan.
You know, when you think about the worst of the people that we have to deal with in our government today, and I know you really wanted to touch upon this.
Oh, yes.
Kristi Noem is somebody who
I have graphics.
Would fit in really, really well at Mar-a-Lago. In fact, not having the blonde hair just kind of makes her.
So before you go into the story, we're going to do it as a story time. Okay. So guys, we're going to say this is going to be something. Greetings from New Jurassica. Okay. So where dinosaurs still roam. All right. This is going to be the premise of today. So here's what I would like you guys. Behold, Cuntosaurus Rex. Okay. Can you take, habitat, Trump administration, diet, dark-skinned humans, weight, 115 pounds, pure silicone, behavior, grossly ignorant and whorish, tends to take out aggression on canines when not hunting for immigrants. Lifespan to be determined. And we will be investigating the Cuntosaurus Rex today.
Yeah, the fact that she's a dog killer to me was enough to just have her removed from public life forever. Like how anybody was okay with that. I don't care how MAGA you might be or how pro-Trump you might be. The idea that you would ever make an exception for a dog killer and a person who couldn't even come up with a justifiable reason as to why she did it the way that she did it. If you are going to put down an animal, especially a dog, that's not how you do it. There's plenty more humane ways of doing such a thing. You're not eating the dog. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Yeah, eating them is a problem, but just killing them with your bare hands apparently doesn't seem to bother anybody.
No, listen, Kristi's a really terrible person, but I've been, I've had a thing for her for a while. Little Donnie thinks more than the big Donnie, you know. But really, that's the biggest reason. That's
so I like that people like that. So we used to do story time more, and I had a bunch of different graphics. I just don't do them as much anymore. But I'm glad people appreciated the new story time.
There is a reason why Kristi Noem is in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah.
And she, unfortunately, as the head of DHS, has been flying very, very close to the sun when it comes to just randomly picking people up off the street, thinking that that's acceptable discourse. Now, as those of you that follow this channel, Jen and I do not see eye to eye when it comes to immigration in general. I am much more of a hardliner on immigration than Jen is. However,
that's an understatement.
You can't see the scam in what this all is, especially with what she's up to. I mean, this is as bad as it gets. And so we have been wondering, and this was something that you used to pontificate yourself about when it came to the first Trump administration, you know, who's going this week or who's going that week or under the Biden administration, et cetera. And so now there hasn't been anybody who's been, you know, let's just say ceremoniously removed from the administration. Trump simply refuses to remove anybody. But it would appear, as of now, that Kristi Noem is not getting out of this. And that, of course,
open.
Yes. But what's the reason? It turns out that she actually deported a veteran, an American-born veteran. But why did she deport him? Because he didn't look white. I mean, what other reason was there? It didn't seem like it. He was an Asian man, and she decided to deport him. No sense. So Kristi Noem has been handed an impeachment ultimatum, according to the news.
But let me be clear. She is not being impeached because she deported a veteran, okay, or a citizen or whatever. She's going to be impeached because she flat out lied to Congress about it, and it got stuck right in her face because she's also clearly not that bright. So when they ask you if something has ever happened, here's the thing, Kristi, this is just a heads up as someone, whatever. Nobody in that position is going to ask you a question like that they don't know the answer to. So yeah, they've got the receipts.
Representative Delia Ramirez, an Illinois Democrat, demanded on Thursday that Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem either resign or face impeachment. The Congresswoman requested the House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, an Ohio Republican, and Ranking Member Jamie Raskin, a Maryland Democrat, carry out an investigation into Noem's leadership of DHS, which oversees ICE and CBP, which is the Customs and Border Protection. The agency spearheading the Trump administration's mass deportation policy. Now, under Secretary Kristi Noem's leadership, the Department of Homeland Security has done irreversible harm to our constituents, trampling the rights of all people and disregarding the rule of law. That is true. You are entitled to due process. That is still in the Constitution, and last I checked. Ramirez accused Noem of misleading Congress and the public, misusing congressionally appropriated resources, and disregarding court orders and legislative oversight. She pointed to reports that more than 170 U.S. citizens have been detained by immigration agents, contradicting Noem's claims that enforcement targets only those in the country illegally.
Really?
Her request seeks a full inquiry into whether Noem made false statements to Congress, mishandled departmental resources, or violated constitutional limits on executive authority. Your options are limited. You either resign, the Donald fires you, or you will be impeached. This is what Ramirez said at the House Homeland Security Committee hearing on Thursday. Jen, if you will, please continue.
It's so
I will blow it up.
Yeah, it's not good. That blind. A DHS spokesperson told Newsweek on Friday morning, as a self-proclaimed Guatemala first politician, we are not shocked that Representative Ramirez is more focused on showmanship than actual policy work, including hours before a hearing. We hope she would get serious about doing her job to protect American people, which is what this department is doing under Secretary Noem. Yeah, that's what it's doing. It's protecting us from the veterans and the Native Americans. Ramirez's ultimatum for DHS secretary illustrates the deep divisions over immigration policy and executive accountability in Washington, D.C. While impeachment is rare and difficult to achieve, especially against a cabinet official under a president's own party control, such actions can amplify political pressure and shape public narratives heading into the 26 midterm elections. It's all just a matter of theater and strategy. That's the point of it. Rumors have swirled about Noem being replaced, fueling speculation about her future at DHS amid growing scrutiny of her handling of immigration enforcement. While some reports suggest potential leadership changes, White House officials and President Trump have publicly dismissed these rumors, reaffirming their support for Noem. Trump publicly backed Noem, and with Republicans controlling the House, the chances of impeachment proceedings advancing are widely viewed as slim. Meanwhile, articles of impeachment have already been filed against Trump, Defense Secretary Hegseth, and Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. by other House Democrats.
Well, of course they're going to do that because that's the theater part of politics.
So for people who don't know exactly what happened with Kristi Noem, so she was brought before Congress and she was questioned about, many things. And one in particular was, have you deported any veterans? And she said no. And then, of course, they had on video conference a veteran that she deported back to Korea, where he hadn't lived since he was like 7 years old, and he's an old man now. So she got caught in a lie in real time. And it's not a good look. But yeah, I mean, the odds of her being impeached.
We'll see. Noem has defended her department's actions and immigration enforcement strategies, saying the DHS is enforcing federal law and that operations are conducted appropriately. At the Homeland Security Committee hearing, she reiterated support for tougher border security as well as interior enforcement measures and rejected accusations of wrongdoing. Here's what you have to remember about this story and why this is important. And when it comes to whether or not you're a hardliner on immigration or not, here's the bottom line. They are not answering to people. They are not answering to innocent citizens that are here legally or not. This is all about corporate special interests. That's why we have the border policies that we have. You really think that any of this wouldn't be stopped immediately if it was really about what's right versus what's wrong? Do we need to have border security? That's not even a question. But
I think it's a question. I think it's a very good question.
Why has it gotten so out of control?
I have so many questions about it besides that, but yeah.
If labor is growing in strength, then they will shoot it down by opening up the floodgates and allowing as many people in as they have to. That will work menial jobs for cheap labor so that people like Bezos and the Walton family and Zuckerberg and every other multi-billionaire, even Elon Musk, and some of you may love him, but just know.
Who loves him? There's no one in our chat that loves Elon Musk.
I hope not. But
I hope not too. If you are, just keep it to yourself.
Well, I don't know, Jen. I should have helped you out when you were running for Congress.
No, I wouldn't even want your help. I don't want anything. I wouldn't take anything from someone like that.
But if you want to know who gets targeted the most, Jeff Bezos is as guilty as anybody. It's not enough that he has destroyed so much of small town America with the Amazon warehouses, just as the Walton family has done with Walmart. They're basically one and the same. I look at it as, from an investor standpoint, Walmart is retail and Amazon is industrial. What you have is the retail section, which is Walmart, which is what you see within the stores when you walk in, you purchase it, etc., like going into a supermarket. Amazon is
A
the
stinky, disgusting supermarket where everything is full of poisonous chemicals and plastic, and they treat their employees like shit. But yeah, just like that.
The worst of the worst. And then on the industrial side, you have Amazon, which is basically a distribution center. Only now, distribution centers that used to be 40,000 square feet, maybe 100,000 square feet, they're now 1 million square feet, maybe more. Big enough to be an entire community. Like in Miramar, Florida, if you haven't seen the size of the Amazon distribution warehouse facility in Miramar, thank you, Mayor Messam.
And that's not even one of their, I don't even think that's considered one of their like really big ones. Like there's a couple that are known to be like giant.
Yeah. So if you want to know where a lot of the immigration problems come from, it's not just the bar backs and restaurants, ladies and gentlemen. These are the real world problems that we face today economically, because we are run by a billionaire Zio class that does not give a flying fuck about any of us. And they employ people like Liora Rez to basically facilitate the Gestapo to make sure that everyone who commits thought crime is now subject to prosecution. That's basically how this works. Of Krampus? Travis?
Well, you missed the first good comment about muskrat. That was funny. This.
Well, Elon Muskrat? Yeah.
Muskrat, a vile shit-eating rodent gnawing away at democracy. That's really good.
Let's do it piece by piece. And therein, again, is our problem. We are dealing with this sort of disintegration every day. And I kind of I look around and I wonder if people truly understand that this is, and like I said, we can have strict immigration policies, guys, but if you don't deal with the root cause of why this is an issue,
but why?
then you're never going to solve it.
But what would that accomplish?
Well, that's my point. Okay, so you deport 1 million to 10 million people. Let's say you deported 10 million. What is going to happen if the policies don't change? They're still going to bring them in. You take one out, you bring them back. There's 8 billion people on the planet, guys. What's 10 million people when you could just drag in another 10 million from war-torn, impoverished parts of the world? What's the point? We only want the good immigrants coming to the United States. What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, well, he means white. Did I need to translate that for you?
I'm just saying it's absolutely insane at this point.
First of all, the reason, Donald, that those people don't want to come here is because it's not that good here and they have it better. That's why. The people that are coming here is because we've destroyed their countries and we've made them unlivable, whether it's because of sanctions or wars or both. And the people that you want to come here live in places like Copenhagen and they're doing just fine. So see, those people don't want to come here. They have healthcare, they get education, they have a whole good thing going there. So why in the world would those white people come here?
It's a good point. This is why politics does involve nuance, and this is a key issue that a lot of people are missing the boat on. Now, economically speaking, I know that you had a story regarding China that
we don't. Do you not want to talk about this? Was sort of the premise of it, is what Jessica Marie is saying here. They're going to lock us in.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, economically, yes. That is what's coming. And I've been telling as many people as I can, that is the reality. The rest of the world they're sick of our shit. They're sick of being bullied by us. They're sick of being sanctioned by us. They're sick of having to use our dollars. They don't like us. And all they need to do is really get it completely in some sort of cohesive system that's economically, viable for them. And once that happens, and by the way, we covered it a few weeks ago with what just happened in China with BRICS, and that they, for a very first time, there's now like 185 countries that can do trade with China on their currency for the first time in ever. So it's happening. So we are going to get locked in a way. It's going to be economically, and we're going to be really screwed because we import 80% of the shit that we need. That's what's happening.
And all too often, we have people that are willing to just kind of line up, if you will, like good foot soldiers. Is there anything that you sent over to Colin that I should be aware of?
No, I usually send stuff to you to say this is what we should do, figuring you just send everything over to Colin once we've decided what we're doing.
Yes. And I do know that there was one that I had, well, there is a reason why the ideology is being pushed so hard here at home. And I want to phrase this from two perspectives, because you're going to see a very big blow up next year with the World Cup. Because the protests that are going to happen here in the States are going to be absolutely insane. And this is actually a very good transition, because the immigration policies that are now going to be put in place for people coming here for the World Cup, it's going to be insane. They're going
I'm
to
surprised people will want to come here. I'm surprised they want to have it here. I would think the rest of the world would say, screw them. We're having it somewhere else, like Brazil or wherever.
Well, again, these decisions are made many years in advance. I think as much as I think 2 or 3 World Cups are planned in advance in terms of the site rights and all that. It takes years. You got to build a little city, if you will, for the World Cup. And so my understanding is that there is going to be a massive crackdown on people coming into the States for the World Cup. People are going to be, and I agree with Panagenesis, absolutely boycott FIFA, 1,000%.
I'm on with that, especially since I never watched that anyway. That's the easiest boycott I'll ever do.
It's criminal organization, but it goes without saying that these people that want to come into the States to see the World Cup, now they are going to basically be going through the Gestapo in order to come here, because they're going to be reviewing their social media posts for like the last 5 years. And if they see anything that is anti-Israel, they're basically not going to be allowed here. So what they're going to attempt to do is make sure that, because this is a grand spectacle in the United States, that there will be no obvious signs of protests against Israel when the World Cup is here next year. That's what
and that's not going to be possible. That's
No,
not going to be possible for them to do that. And as far as the other athletes from other countries coming here for that, they're not going to be able to stop them from speaking up either.
I agree. And so this is a protest that just happened in Germany within the last week.
Why is this about Ukraine? This looks like something for Ukraine. This isn't right.
Colin.
I don't know what that is, but it's definitely not.
I thought I had sent a clip regarding there was like a protest this is.
It might be a protest in Germany, but it looks like they're for Ukraine. So that's not our thing.
No, and I apologize. So this is. Yeah, I understand that. But again, clarification. This is why we need to prep sometimes before the show to just be clear, because some clips are thrown up that were from like a week ago. And again, I know that there was something specific pertaining to the protests that I thought was important, because again, as it relates to the United States now, they're not going to allow this. They're going to stop it as soon as it begins. This is the protection racket that Israel is now going to be under. And who knows how many other organizations are going to pop up that people are going to need, for these purposes. That's also something to consider. How far are they going to be willing to take this? I also think, Jen, oh God, stop, Jen. Take this down. I don't need to see this shit. Stop it.
Well, I'm letting you say goodbye to a fan.
Okay.
because now they're gone. So I was just sort of, she loves you.
Whatever.
All right.
So,
Just letting you know.
I also think that it is becoming more and more obvious that when you saw what happened this past week, when all of the pastors, the Christian pastors, got dragged to Israel and were there basically becoming ambassadors for Israel and are now being paid, I actually had an epiphany about this. And I thought, you know what? They're probably dragging the lowest common denominators that they could get their hands on that are willing to basically be cucks for Israel. Who are the people that are most likely going to do this? Is it just going to be evangelical pastors? Or are you going to get some really shady individuals that are going to get in on the racket? Because Lord knows there's probably a lot of money that's being offered. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a variety of factors. Everybody regarding this is either being bullied or extorted, right? Like it's one or the other, and or they religiously believe, right? I mean, but that's basically the gist of the people that are in with them at this point. They're all filthy.
I tried to get the name of this guy. I couldn't get it. But if anybody wants to know who we are the most fond of when it comes to leftist activists in the United States, no one, and I mean no one, is better than our friend Medea Benjamin and Code Pink. And they walk the walk in the halls of Congress. So this just happened over the weekend.
So killing babies in the womb is okay for you idiots. How about you go abort yourself?
I love that argument. I love the argument from the anti-choice people. He's okay with killing babies in Palestine. He's okay with that, with his big Star of David around his neck. He's okay with that.
Well, that's a Star of David with the cross in the middle, you know, because he's a
Well, it's a particular like group. They're a particular like group that are like Christian. They're Christian, not Jewish.
Well, he's probably Pentecostal. And
I don't know what he is, but he's an asshole. That's what he is.
Well, yes, absolutely he is. But what I always find very interesting is that the people who claim to be the most pious are often the most repulsive.
Often.
And so a person who claims to be a man of the cloth is effectively doing everything in his capacity to prove that he isn't actually someone who preaches the word of God. He doesn't. In fact, he's a spawn of Satan.
This is a minister?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes.
that makes sense. I thought he was just like the bouncer.
There's an event going on here.
And you need to step out of the area. Move.
Public area.
Not for you. You're not welcome here, ma'am. So I need you to move.
Look who's getting right in my face.
You don't tell me what my rights are, ma'am. This is a closed meeting.
But this is a public Congress.
Not for you.
Yeah, for me, for everybody.
Not for you.
It's for everybody.
So you need to leave the area now, ma'am.
Because you support Israel doesn't mean
it doesn't matter. Well, just because you're hateful to Israel doesn't mean you get to come to this area and act like this.
Calm down, sir.
So what you need to do is leave this area.
Genocide.
Well, you're the one creating genocide by your unbelief, by your ignorance. So what you
Yeah.
Is unbelief a word, by the way?
No, and no, not. And also calling Medea ignorant is this is not a serious person. And I feel bad that he has a flock that are following him in any regard, spiritually, emotionally, whatever it is, that there's actually people that look to this man for spiritual guidance is scary. And that he's just one of like what, however many 999 others or however many that went over to do that, or this is a different thing.
Yeah.
you need to do, ma'am, is leave this area.
I think you ought to calm this guy down.
I'm calm.
He's doing a great job.
This is a calm version of me. You don't want to see the elevated version of me.
See, that sounds like a threat.
That
sounds like a threat from a pastor.
Not only does it sound like a threat, but I'd like to see his rap sheet and know what the hell he's been involved in. Because you know who talks like that, ladies and gentlemen? A man who's put his hands on women before.
Yes.
That's who talks like that.
Yes.
Thousands of children.
Oh, you're talking about murder, ma'am. You just need to go. Let's go, ma'am.
I don't need to go anywhere.
You
yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Let's go, ma'am.
You don't get to tell me what to do.
And
Why
you want to
is the
come and
boss
tell
with
me
that?
what to do
I'm
and then
not
tell me
telling
that I
you
don't
what
get.
to do.
You
I'm
just
just
told me.
standing right here.
I
You
am
have a right
so
to be here.
sick of you pompous idiot liberals. You guys work my nerves. Can you go find Jesus, please?
Does Jesus say bomb children?
Oh, you don't even want to get into that
Does your
with me
Jesus say
because
bomb
I'm not the one for you to have that type of discussion with. I will destroy every argument you could ever come up
You
with.
better find.
Well, what
yeah.
are you talking to her right now? What argument do you have? You don't have anything.
He's actually saying that to Medea Benjamin.
Ma'am, you are getting in the way of my ability to grift for more money. Don't you dare get in the way of my nut.
If there's anyone who knows what they're talking about in that building, it's Medea Benjamin. She might be the only person, but she knows what she's talking about.
It's also that, guys, we've spent time with Medea. Medea is about 4'10". She is
Yeah.
about maybe 85 pounds soaking wet. And the way that they try to physically intimidate this
Every
little
time.
woman, and they're again, pick on someone your own size.
Let me tell you something. She is bigger than him in every other way. And that's the thing. It's like she is small and she is so fierce that her presence is quite large, actually.
Not only that, but you know, I'm gonna borrow a line from, let's just say, I'm not even gonna say rival, but give credit where credit is due. Gonna borrow a line from Jimmy, because the one thing he has always said in reaction to why libs always react the way that they do when it comes to Trump is because they see their shadow. And in the case of this man, what this man is seeing is an angelic woman, an actual woman, a woman who actually is Christ-like in her actions. And when he sees it, because he's so devilish, he is seeing a reflection of the banality of evil that is himself. And he hates looking at himself. That's it.
Well, Medea is definitely a Christ consciousness person. Absolutely. Speaking of which, so I started the book, Separation of Church and Hate. We need to get John Fugelsang on. And this is exactly what he's going to prep everybody to know. Like, I'm going to be citing Bible verses at motherfuckers like this. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting geared up. We need to get John back on.
We are working on it.
Find a new Jesus if your Jesus is okay with killing children.
Obviously, you don't even know him. Have you ever really read your Bible?
I know.
Now, keep this in mind, and I want to make this distinctly clear for everybody here, especially the person who referred to Jen as Jew woman. I
don't know that they're still here, but go ahead.
Here's the point. This man knows that Medea is a Jew. So when we tell you that there is a distinct difference between Zionist Jews and anti-Zionist Jews like Jen and Medea Benjamin, know this. This man right here, I guarantee you, hates Jews. He hates them, and he loves getting their money.
He's a grifter. This is a grifter. This is not a pious person in any capacity. That's not the case. Pious people, whether they're Jews, Christian, Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus, Buddhists, whatever, those are not hateful people. I have yet to have ever met a pious person that's hateful. I haven't. So, you know.
An actual pious person, a person of the cloth, like a
no, not of a cloth, just somebody who is pious, somebody who takes.
Sure.
Yeah. And I've met pious people of all different religions, and none of them have ever been hateful. That's a common denominator. So,
like I said, that guy's got a lot of hate.
Probably don't even have one.
I know that God is against genocide.
Ma'am, will you just take your foolishness elsewhere?
No.
I'm glad you're videoing. Maybe your audience will get some common sense. Maybe you will get a revelation.
The revelation
and you're talking about genocide and all this.
Killing babies is
so
wrong.
Killing babies in the womb is okay for you idiots. How about you go abort yourself?
Stop supporting genocide.
Go abort yourself.
You think it's okay to kill thousands?
I think it's okay for you to go abort yourself. That's what I think.
Are you a pastor? You really are a pastor? I doubt it.
She just asked him, "Are you really a pastor?" Like, she just asked him that. If people didn't hear it, she's like, "Are you really a pastor?"
I want you to hear that one more time.
Yourself.
Stop supporting genocide.
Go abort yourself.
You think it's okay to kill thousands?
I think it's okay for you to go abort yourself.
That's a pastor, by the way. That's a pastor saying that.
And again, what freaks me out is that he has people that follow him in some capacity. And he's in a whole conference of people like him. Oh, yeah, everybody's got their marching orders. Everybody from people like Barry Weiss down to the pastors at this level, down to the guy putting on fake blood over in Bondi Beach. Everybody's gotten their talking orders that we are losing this narrative and we have to just do everything we can to stifle this. And they're just throwing every shit against the wall that they possibly can. And some of it will stick, but not for long.
Yeah.
They're losing. They're losing.
And I bring this up because if you want to know who these people, these grifter spawns of Satan, do you know who they're supporting? Do you know what they're supporting? Do you
No.
know what they're aiding and abetting? They're aiding and abetting this.
אנחנו בעלי הבית כאן, תזכרו את זה. תזכרו את זה, אני בעל הבית שלכם כאן. אנחנו בעלי הבית.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have now, and this is something that just, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before or whatever. But the state of Ziohel has declared a handful of the illegal settlements or illegal outposts to be official settlements, which of course is completely in violation of international law and will never be recognized by anybody but them and us. But nonetheless, that's the kind of shit that's going on here, is just more ethnic cleansing and land theft in the West Bank. And it's at a peak level. Like the stuff that's going on right now in the West Bank is second only to what's going on in Gaza. Really. I mean,
this is probably the part of the story that I think gets lost on most people, because the narrative has been ever since October 7th that this is a us problem. But what's the difference? Jesus, Jen, what the hell do you have stuck in your throat?
I think it's just, you know what it is? When I was a kid, I actually thought that it was from cream cheese, that they sounded like that so much from cream cheese. When I was a kid, I thought it was the cream cheese.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Like that made them sound like that.
But the dirty little secret about the West Bank is that there is no Hamas in the West Bank. And so when you think about all the devastation that's been done to Gaza, but they don't want to talk about the West Bank. Here's why they don't want to talk about the West Bank.
I'm here in the occupied West Bank. This journey that we're about to take should, in theory, only take 10 minutes.
For Palestinians living here, trips around the occupied West Bank rarely take 10 minutes. And that's because of this. A complex web of Israeli checkpoints that make up more than 800 movement obstacles, according to figures from the UN earlier.
Now, can you explain what the point of this is? Why they think that they have to have all of these 849 checkpoints in what, a 25-mile radius?
It's terrorism. The purpose of all of that is to create life that is so miserable and oppressed for the Palestinian people that they leave. That's what it is in the West Bank, because in the West Bank, they can leave. In Gaza, they can't leave. But this has been happening over decades. And what you're looking at, I mean, it's hard for people who aren't seeing, and even if you are looking, it just looks like a bunch of red dots and blue dots. And I don't know which is which, but let's say hypothetically, the blue dots are, I guess, the Israeli, because they'd make them blue. So the blue dots are Israeli settlements that are illegal, mind you. Every single one of those blue dots is not recognized by any other country in the world besides us. And then the red dots are Palestinian villages. And what they've done when they create all those outposts and those settlements that the Jews live in is they hijack the resources. And by resources, I mean roads, water. So in the Palestinian villages, they only get water so many days a week. That's why in Palestinian villages and all the red dots, if you look on all the roofs of the buildings, they all have huge water tanks because they have to save up their water, because at any moment, Ziohel could turn it off just for shits and giggles, because that's happened too. And so all of those red dots would have to find a way to become a sovereign area. And they can never do that. They can't even, the roads separate people from their own groves, their own olive harvests and stuff, like their own farms. So they've created a situation where Palestinians can't get from one Palestinian place to the other. And that's what she's about to endure, a journey that should take like 40 minutes. And you'll see what happens here.
This year, which includes what is known as flying checkpoints, or road gates that temporarily block access for Palestinians.
It's 10 a.m. now. We've been here 1 hour and cars have not moved. It's just bumper to bumper congestion.
These restrictions have dramatically increased since the Hamas attacks on October 7th, 2023. The Israeli military can choose when to open or close them, leading to unpredictable delays, or worse, being trapped. Israel says these barriers are needed for security and counterterrorism measures. But human rights groups say the purpose is actually to make life more difficult for Palestinians while providing smoother access for Jewish Israeli settlers illegally living on Palestinian land.
Like, to be clear, they have separate roads. So for people who are wondering, so the Israelis are on roads that run smoothly and don't have checkpoints, and the Palestinians are relegated to either bumpy, unpaved roads, roads that have checkpoints. Sometimes they just put checkpoints in places where there aren't checkpoints, and their infrastructure is really not good. And the Jewish roads are better, and they have separate license plates. So you wouldn't see a Palestinian driving on a Jewish road, a Jewish only road. But they don't, but this isn't apartheid.
No, the Jews
Literally separate highways, not apartheid.
It's 11 a.m. now. We've been waiting for 2 hours. And this is effectively the daily commute for thousands of Palestinians.
صرنا نعاني كثير، صار شيء ممل، مقرف، الناس مضغوطة. هذا يوميا أنا المشوار بستمر معي. المشوار من رام الله لأبو ديس فقط 35 دقيقة.
So basically what he's saying, for those who are just listening or cannot read the small print, he's basically saying every day is a journey for us Palestinians to just live our lives. They go out of their way to make it as inhumane as possible for us to survive. So it's one thing to drop bombs on everybody. It's another thing to basically do a different version of genocide. They're trying to wipe them all out.
They've been doing this for years in the West Bank, like decades in the West Bank. And think about this. So for people that are going to work and school, you have no idea how long it's going to take you every day. You have no idea. Something that should take a half an hour could take 4 hours. So it's screwing up their entire economy. It's screwing up their livelihoods. It's making life untenable, which is what the occupation does. This is similar to when we watched the thing that Morgan did. And she often, guys don't know, I follow Morgan Cooper, who lives in Palestine in the West Bank. And she often does record herself going through checkpoints and what this nonsense is. But these people are not allowed to just live.
No, definitely not.
من يوم خلينا نقول الحرب من 7 أكتوبر لليوم فيش مشوار بيستمر أقل شيء من 4 ل 5 ساعات يوميا.
Just how much time is lost daily at roadblocks was calculated in a study earlier this year. Over 191,000 working hours every single day. That has a tremendous impact psychologically and economically on the nearly 3 million Palestinians living here. To make these grueling journeys, Palestinians rely on community Telegram and WhatsApp groups to stay updated on traffic. But students are still late to school, adults late to work, and ill patients who need urgent care sometimes don't make it to hospital in time.
Yep.
Their lives, they say, have become a nightmare. We finally made it through after 3 hours. And really it depends on the day, the time of day, to know just how long this journey will take. And Palestinians say that effectively time is blocked in the West Bank and their mobility is completely controlled.
Yeah.
That's why it's imperative that we bring these stories to as many people as we can, as often as we can, because as you've been saying, and we will continue to say, there is no redemption for these people. Zero. Their state is going to become Palestine again from the river to the sea. And when you have people out there making it so obvious, again, as our conversations always come full circle, that what happened in Bondi Beach was a false flag.
Yep.
They're very bad at hiding it. That's why so much of the criminal behavior is now out in the open for everyone to see. The insider trading, the fealty towards Israel or Ukraine, going against the needs of the working people of this country, whether economically, whether environmentally, because of our water and our air. All of it adds up. And that is why we are in a revolutionary period. Revolution is the only way out of this. There is no other way. That goes for Israel as it goes here at home. And for the Palestinian people, just remember, our lives could be so much worse than they already are economically, socially, physically. We have a lot of problems here at home. But try walking in their shoes. Try being a Palestinian.
All right, so this brings me to a book recommendation, which is what I was looking up. So, guys, I read this book. Actually, I did the audiobook, and it's called A Day in the Life of Abd Salama by Nathan Thrall. By the way, I'd love to get him on the show. And it is a firsthand account based on a true story of exactly that kind of stress. It's a father spending an entire day trying to get to his son who was in a bus accident on a school field trip and he in the West Bank, and he couldn't get to him, and then he couldn't get information and all of this stuff based on he didn't have the right license to get to the right place, and just this horror story based on a real story. So guys, again, the name of the book is A Day in the Life of Abd Salama by Nathan Thrall. And I highly recommend, because that to me was very eye-opening as to just their regular life, what that's like. Sorry, that's what I was thinking when you were.
Oh, please. Clearly, yes. 191,000 work hours lost every single day because I don't feel safe.
And as she was saying, the book that I'm talking about, people die because the ambulance that comes for them isn't allowed to go to the closest hospital because that's a Jews only road, and they're not allowed to go into Jerusalem. They're not allowed to cross in there. So then they have to go, like, people die because of things that they wouldn't have to die from because of this. And then somehow that's not apartheid.
It sure shit is. We're going to conclude the show this evening with a history lesson. It seems to be the common theme that a lot of you guys like to see now on the channel, learning new things about the history of Israel and how it came to be. There's also many conflicting reports about the evolving state of Israel prior to the rise of the Third Reich and what happened over the course of that time period, and how this all was aided and abetted by David Ben-Gurion, and how they contributed mightily to the mass killings in the death camps. So brace yourself.
1933, the Zionists were in desperate need of cash and Jewish immigrants. The Germans needed a way to break the boycott. The Jewish Agency offered a deal. If the Nazis allowed wealthy German Jews to emigrate and take a portion of their assets in the form of German products, the Zionists would act as the sales agent of those products, in direct defiance of the anti-Nazi boycott. SS officer Leopold von Mildenstein toured Palestine in 1933 with German Zionist Kurt Tuchler and wrote a 12-part series of articles promoting cooperation along the lines of the Zionist proposal. Adolf Eichmann, who succeeded von Mildenstein as head of Jewish affairs, visited Palestine in 1937 to assess immigration possibilities. However, he was discovered by the British and deported.
For those of you who don't know who Adolf Eichmann is, he was the commandant of Auschwitz.
I actually got to sit inside the glass box, bulletproof glass box that he sat in during his trial in Nuremberg.
Now, if you know anything about the Nazi hunters, when they were in Argentina, they had to make a decision to get Adolf Eichmann or to get Dr. Joseph Mengele. Now, if it were up to me, I would have went for Mengele, but that's me. If you know anything about Joseph Mengele, if you don't know,
it's all bad, Peter. Again, this is like you with who's your favorite president? None.
I have a favorite president. Thank you for sending me that thing on the.
I figured you would like that, but
yes.
I still have my doubts.
Fair enough.
The Haverer Agreement, as it was known, would last 8 years and prove a crucial lifeline for both the Nazis and the Zionists.
the SS Tel Aviv, a Jewish-owned ship which facilitated the transfers. It sailed flying the Nazi swastika flag from the mast.
Yeah, people make no mistake. The Zionists and the Nazis have been in cahoots from the very, very beginning. From the beginning.
In 1926, Zionist leader Chaim Weizmann wrote, "I am not an alarmist by nature and have a large dose of optimism, but it is my duty to tell you that the ship is sinking." In 1927, 2,287 more Jews left Palestine than entered. In 1928, the number was plus 10. Only 10 immigrants. The Zionist project was on life support, facing massive deficits, collapsing fundraising, and halted settlements. David Ben-Gurion, the future prime minister, made his priorities clear. In 1938, the British offered to grant sanctuary to 10,000 Jewish children in England, but barred them from Palestine.
And just so people are aware, the area was referred to as Palestine. That's what they all called it. It was Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretending that's not true now, but that's what they called it. And Ben-Gurion knew that they were going to have to ethnically cleanse. He knew that.
Ben-Gurion's response was shocking. "If I knew that it was possible to save all the children of Germany by transporting them to England, and only half by transferring them to the land of Israel, I would choose the latter, for before us lies not only the numbers of these children, but the historical reckoning of the people of Israel."
Again, these are people that are very willing to kill their own for the end result that they're seeking. So why would staging some sort of massacre modern day be
Hannibal directive?
It's exactly. These are people that are perfectly content killing their own.
Oh, yes. Well, again, as it's like you described with the Hunger Games. As long as you are in, what is it, Station 12?
No, well, if you're District 12 that's like Yemen and Haiti. That's like, or Gaza. Gaza's District 12. But like, we live in the capital is how I would reference it. You have to watch it. It's like, I feel like you and I cannot discuss this properly until you watch at least just the first Hunger Games.
Fine. Fair enough.
For Ben-Gurion, the goal of nation building came before everything and justified anything. Even sabotaging the boycott, which was the world's best chance of bringing down the Nazi regime. Saving Zionism was deemed more important. When news of the Havara Agreement broke, the Jewish world exploded. Haim Al-Loserov, the political secretary of the Jewish Agency, was assassinated when he returned from negotiations in Berlin. The men accused of the murder were associated with Brit Haberionim, a radical faction of revisionist Zionism.
Gee, it almost sounds like a modern-day assassination. You know,
look, I feel like you could put aside, honestly, if you took the Israel flag and you just put like killing world leaders since, 1930, whatever it is, that's what this would be. I mean, like they've been doing this forever at this point.
Been doing it for a long time. And now it's just becoming more and more clear to the average citizen that assassination is part of their discourse. Very common in modern times, in yesteryear, and they're flippant about it. Now it's a means to an end. That's a shame, but that's how they do it.
Zeev Jabotinsky, the founder of the revisionist movement, said, "The transfer agreement destroys the only weapon the Jews have against the Nazis, the boycott. It makes us allies of the beast." The revisionist newspaper Hazit Ham, on the very day Al-Loserov was murdered, wrote, "The Jewish people has always known how to deal with those who have sold the honor of their nation and its Torah, and it will know today as well how to react to this abomination that is being committed in the open." This was seen as an open call to liquidate the traitors who collaborated with the Nazis. Baruch Vladek, manager of the Jewish Daily Forward and leader of the Jewish Labor Committee, wrote, "The organized Jewish workers of America will not be a party to any agreement with the murderers of their own flesh and blood. We will not become the sales agents of Hitler." Samuel Untermyer, prominent lawyer, president of the non-sectarian Anti-Nazi League, and boycott leader, declared, "This is a treasonable act. The Jews of the world cannot be expected to recognize the transfer agreement, which is in effect a strike-breaking expedition."
So point
The
being,
value of the
from the very beginning of all of this, there have been Jews not on board. From the very beginning, there have been Jews that did not agree with anything about creating a Zionist state, and certainly not with teaming up with the Nazis when they were having a successful boycott. And who knows what that might have been able to accomplish, that boycott, had it not been broken by the Zionists.
Those are Nazis, by the way.
Havara agreement for the Nazis, who collected 25% in their own paper currency when they could have seized it all, wasn't the Havara revenue. That was a cheap price to pay to destroy the boycott. But for the Zionists, who levied a 39% tax on the transfer, it was about securing the vital capital needed to build a nation. The political fallout was a price they were willing to pay for a life-saving economic bailout. Nazi steel, Nazi pumps, and Nazi cement built Tel Aviv.
I should have listened to that one more time, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
know. Yeah.
The price they were willing to pay for a life-saving economic bailout. Nazi steel, Nazi pumps, and Nazi cement built Tel Aviv.
You know, kind of like how white powder built Miami. Never forget how it really goes down.
Yeah. Again, Zionism and Nazism go hand in hand. They have since the beginning. They still do now. It's all the same. It's white supremacy.
And that's, and you know, when I brought up assassination, that's not to say, I mean, you have your issues, as you've pointed out, with Yitzhak Rabin, but the radicalization of the Zionist movement has become more and more genocidal as the years have gone on, especially now because they are losing control of their ideology.
Yeah.
So who knows how much of a spiral this is going to look like? You think there's not a whole bunch of other Bondi Beach false flags that are being planned as we speak? I've always said, and I'll keep saying it, if there is one world leader that would drop a nuclear weapon, it's Netanyahu Milikowski.
The kibbutzim plowed their fields with Lance bulldog tractors manufactured in Nazi Germany. The deal brought 45 to 50,000 educated, self-funded German immigrants, vital human capital that the British would otherwise have rejected. Garm Weizmann's sinking Zionist ship didn't just stay afloat, it was refitted with German engines. The moment the Zionists started trading with Berlin, the moral argument for the boycott collapsed. How could a Jew in New York or London demand a company or government not buy German when the Jews of the Jewish homeland were buying German products by the boatload? The boycott was the one weapon that truly frightened Hitler. Could it have brought down the Nazi regime? We'll never know, because the Havara Agreement cut the legs out from under it just as it was gaining momentum.
And that's the key. I mean, that, again, not at all surprised. Not at all surprised. It's, and I see, yeah, you're right. I mean, it isn't just a matter of white supremacy. It's just Western hegemony is really what it is. It's caucasity in a sense. Like, you know, the West is somehow entitled to be in charge of the whole world, not just, and certainly our hemisphere, because, you know, we can't have countries like Venezuela and Cuba trading freely amongst themselves. We can't allow that. That's just crazy. How dare they? Not when little Marco has such a hard-on to punish Cuba. That's what this is about. Like, there are so many variables about it, and none of it has anything to do with what's in the best interest of American safety or even Venezuelans. Nobody cares.
No, because life is not sacred. only to those that are deemed above reproach, those that are considered supreme. That's why the Zionist ideology preaches the Jews are the chosen people, hence we are above reproach. But as we are learning day by day, that's not the case. If we are all created in the image of God, if God exists, then one would have to surmise that there's a hell of a lot of false prophets out there, a lot of war profiteers, a lot of criminals.
Even pastors that tell people to abort themselves and seemingly don't have a problem with genocide, and that's a pastor.
So
You
be
see?
aware. And someone in the chat at the top said something very true. You don't have to be religious to be pious. So remember that.
This is where I'm at. Thank you, Violin 13. I agree.
Live by Jesus' golden rule. Do unto others as you would have done to you. If you wouldn't blow up your own babies, don't blow up others. It's not smart. But as we know, Zionism is on its way out. It's going to end. And we are all the more happy to help facilitate that end. If you guys have enjoyed this conversation this evening, which we hope you have, one more time, please go over to patreon.com/revolutionary change. For as little as $5 a month, you can become a supporter of our small but mighty and growing channel. Last count for the evening, we currently we are over 99,000. We're now at 99,101. At this pace right now, it's pretty likely that on Thursday you will see a six-figure channel.
Maybe. But I think definitely by solstice, if not by Thursday.
Correct. I agree. And we also want to point out that we are also on Rumble. So if you guys would be so inclined, make sure that you subscribe over on Rumble. In addition, we are also putting our money where our mouth is. If you look over Jen's shoulder.
I think it's here to you guys, right?
I believe so.
To me, it's not, but okay.
Please take out your phone, click the QR code.
And guys, so Revolutionary Change PAC is our super PAC. And we are seeking to support candidates that are not just anti-APAC. I mean, that they're definitely anti-APAC, wanting to stop funding wars, but also people that are fighting for the least of these. That's what we're about. So we have right now 2 candidates. We're supporting Butch Ware for governor of California, Shama Sawant for Congress in the state of Washington. And we are contemplating, what's the guy in Michigan? Who's the guy in Michigan?
Abdul El Sayed.
Abdul El Sayed.
And again, it's not about, frankly, the 2 candidates we're supporting are not part of the two-party duopoly. But
no.
I mean, look, if Thomas Massey needed our financial help, then he would be an example of one that we would target. The campaigns that we are targeting to help also, keep in mind, are campaigns that could use the extra financial boost. Graham Plattner, who we were initially supporting, we've decided that he's no longer on the slate because not only has he raised a lot of money, but he is crushing Janet Mills, like crushing her. So that's great. I think competitive races are important. I think supporting the cause is important. But at the end of the day, we would recommend that you guys at least go and check out the PAC and make sure you're following us on all of our social media channels so you can keep up to speed with the ads that we're dropping, the stories that we're posting, and obviously being here to support the channel overall, which we are extremely grateful for that you all are here to do. Ivy Tart with another 5 Revolutionary Change memberships. And of course,
and the boxer.
We need to know who your furry friend's name is so we can shout them out or her.
I have a boxer that lives next door, and her name is Chloe, and I watch her from my window sunning herself, and she's so cute. But it kind of looks like that boxer.
Very cute. I retard with the 2 Canadian A. Okay, she's up in a land of healthcare. Thank you for informing the masses. Keep it up. Thank you for supporting our channel. Uncommon Magic with the $2. There's no greater hate than Christian love.
Hey, by the way, man with long last names telling me, shout out to Enoch. I actually ran into him the other day in my main garage. He is so big. Like he is so big. It scares me to think that I could run into him in this small room again, but like I don't know if he even still can fit to get into this room through that hole. Like I don't know. I saw him and he's starting to look like iguana size-ish. He's
Well,
big.
I would still say that of all the times that Jen and I spent in that studio together, the worst experience without question was when a wasp queen ended up.
I still see where she was trying to build her little nest.
This was a wasp queen that was trying to build a nest. And I saw I mean, you're talking about, it was like that big.
Peter really has no idea what he's talking about because he doesn't know whether or not queens actually do the work or they build or if it was a drone or really doesn't know. It was just a very big wasp.
That was definitely a queen. No question in my mind.
Now he's
you can think that I don't know. I know what I know. That
you don't know shit. Mohi!
Great to see you. Free Palestine, F Zionism, and F Debbie for insulting Jen. Oh, that was the lady that said, I thought he was talking about Wasserman. Hey, that could have been Wasserman Schultz. You never know.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, and she likes you.
Yeah,
that makes
right.
no sense. Let me tell you something. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, I'm sure, hates me, but I got to tell you, you are not one of her peeps either.
No, definitely not. Wasserman Schultz is, she's on her way out. That's what I got to say. Saeed with the 50 revolutionary change memberships.
Because he knows I love seeing that baby. The Poonam. That's Mohi. For people watching, that's little Mohi.
Thank you so much for your support, as always, Saeed. Joanne Kean with the $10. Love to revolutionary change and the truth of humble faith. Thanks for standing in truth and with Medea. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Uncommon Magic with the $10 this time. Guys, I swear to you, I remember seeing an ad for John Hagee, followers to fly to Israel so they can be literal slaves for Israelis. I wish I could find it again. Jen, you lived in San Antonio. Did you?
I did.
Did you ever see any crazy John Hagee ads on the television?
No, but I saw John Hagee. I remember we were at a table sitting next to him. I was with a couple of friends from school and we were at a J. Alexander's in San Antonio and he was there and he was sitting because Cornerstone is really close to this area that I'm talking about.
And did he order one of everything off the menu?
No, I mean, I wasn't paying attention. I was ordering, but it was pointed out to me by a person sitting with me that he was wearing like a very expensive watch.
Shocking.
That was what was pointed out to me by the person with me knew what it was. I couldn't tell you what it was.
Our trusty mod with the 2 Canadian A's. Zionism isn't compatible with egalitarian society. We agree. Alex Scott Mittens, great to see you, sir. Thank you for the $2. Thank you for your live podcast. Thank you for being here. Carson Cruz with the $10. Thank you. No, thank you. And our trusty mod one more time with the 2 Canadian A. Prior to World War II, Jews viewed Zionism as extremism.
Yes.
Quite a few of them still do.
It was not popular. It was not popular. It was a very small minority of Jews in Europe, Jews in the States. Like there was a very small minority of people that supported this idea.
Agreed. Hanan with the 10.
I don't know what that is.
Well, think about it. It's got an A.
And it has a dollar sign?
So
Australia?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Would they use dollars or would it be, I don't know.
No, Australian dollar. I'm pretty sure that's their currency.
I don't know. You're making shit up.
I'm not. You think everything I say is made up.
It is an Australian dollar.
So I was right. Eat that, Jen.
I was the one who suggested it was an Australian dollar.
Jim Talib with the $5. Always great to see you. Thank you so much. And finally, Arlene Chambers with the $25. The show was amazing tonight, Jen and Peter. Looking forward to 100K subs on Thursday.
Thank you, Arlene. Thank you.
Arlene's been here for a long time.
Since
so,
like the very beginning. Yeah.
So thank you all very much. We hope you've all enjoyed this evening. Thursday night is going to be interesting. We will have a posse of libertarians.
I'm going to just try to keep to myself, I think, guys. I think I'm going to be like the odd fish out in that conversation. We'll see what happens.
I know you think so, but I think you'll have, well, it'll be decent. I know you have your thoughts, but we will see. It will be Josie, the redheaded libertarian, and Clint Russell, who decided not to run against Randy as big as a house fine, but hopefully he is supporting Aaron Baker to become the next congressman of that district. So with that said, if we do not see you before we cross the Rubicon,
it could happen, but it could happen.
It could. We want to say thank you to each and every one of you who have believed in us, who understands the assignment, who understands the mission of what we're trying to do here. Hopefully, we continue to grow. I would say that well, you know what? You'll find out. I would say that they're definitely right-leaning, but they're very populist.
So this is one of those scenarios where it's people that, in my mind, they don't think that they should have to pay for things like public education and healthcare, but they agree with we shouldn't be sending money into foreign wars and being the empire of the world either. So that's where we do have a certain amount of crossover. And I am when it comes to civil liberties, that matters.
They're full-blown supporters of the Constitution, civil liberties.
Right. And so for me, when it's like, I don't care about their guns. They can have their guns. I have no beef with the Second Amendment. So, it's things like that. And it's things where we come to terms with when it's infringement on our civil liberties, whether it's freedom of speech, whether it's violation of the Fourth Amendment, which we don't really have anymore, but let's just say we did. So those are the things that we agree on, are the things where we're having authoritarian regime shit shoved down our throats. That's the stuff we're agreeing on. And at the end of the day, that's who the revolution is against. The revolution is against the authoritarian capital regime that has taken over the entire world, really. And if they're on our team against the authoritarianism, then that's where we need to be. So I get that. But yeah, I still believe that we should have healthcare and a living wage and things like that. So I'll continue to fight for those things. But I can team up with these people in regards to, not taking away our civil liberties.
Jen, you're a good talker, a good person too. But this podcast, it's got me anxious, excited even, happy about the future. Some people in the chat have confused me with other people like Steve Buscemi. Not that guy.
Every chat, there is always someone new that comes in and points out that Peter looks like a young Steve Buscemi. And every time I wonder if the rest of our friends in the chat are like, yeah. Like, we've been over it. Welcome to the chat. We've discussed this. It's old information.
Oh, you're talking me all wrong. I got to have more cowbell.
But see, but you can't just go into walk-in because you're talking about Buscemi. Like, I feel like that's just like a disconnect.
Well, that's because I sound like him. Every day I look in the mirror and I have to remind myself that I was not in a Vietnamese prison camp playing Russian roulette with Bob De Niro. I'm actually a pretty good dancer and a good actor. So we hope you're all enjoying this explanation.
And yes, but no, Buscemi absolutely played Randall in Monsters. And that is my all-time favorite Pixar movie, and I am very well versed.
You see, Checkpoint Charlie, he caught on. He's also looking like a young Sam Neill.
But we don't know that that's who that is. That who that is? Who is that?
Oh, yes.
I don't know. Well, yeah.
Well, it's actually the spawn of Satan, the Antichrist.
Why does he hate the Buscemi comparison?
I'll take that. Pittsburgh dude says, I have the face of Buscemi and the soul of Walken.
I could see that, I guess.
I've got a lot of things. We had one more super chat. Libertarian Social Democrat with the 199. Libertarians like me support programs on a state level. Okay, listen, we got to work it into the general consensus. So with that said, we appreciate you all. Thank you all for your amazing support. We will continue to pedal to the metal for revolutionary change. So smash that like button, share, subscribe, do all those things we ask you to do. We love you all. We appreciate you all. We will see you on the other side of 100,000 subscribers.
Hopefully.
Thursday, and
Free Palestine. Bye, guys.